And I know that's very true. That's true. That's true.
There's a lot that needs to happen there.
And
Uh,
a
Yeah.
lot. Okay, but host,
all
can
right.
we?
We're live. I think let's just get started. And
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
hopefully, I mean, I gave him the link. I made a call, so I made everything that I could make that to make it come. So if he shows up, he shows up. But let's start. Let's begin.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to begin with the breaking news from yesterday. I don't know if
Yeah.
you guys missed that. Uh, so the sixth president,
Mm-hmm.
Edgar Changwal, Edgar Changwal,
Yes.
trip to South Korea came to an abrupt end
Mm.
at the Kenneth Kaunda International Airport because the immigration officers couldn't um,
Mm-hmm.
let him through to catch his
Yeah.
flight.
Mm.
Um,
That is news. I
you,
haven't
you
heard
you
that.
guys missed it.
I missed that one.
Oh no, I heard it
You
because
had it,
yes,
yeah.
yes, 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 yes. And in fact, he took on some litigation issues to challenge the
Mm.
government why
Mm.
they disallowed him to leave the country. And
Mm.
then
Mm.
there was some information on a number of online platforms, which obviously include the Causeway. You'll be surprised. Causeway has some issues. I mean, like in terms of facts, they do.
Of
But
course, I have facts.
mm,
Always.
but me, I love to consume, to read different sites to make sure I have a broader platform to pick the truth I need to obviously
Mm.
make some analysis. But yes, there's a lot is happening.
Wow.
A
What
lot
what
is
could be the
happening.
reason?
Yes. So I read some facts. You know, I know the moderator may have questions, but let me sort of cut the gun here, cut the bullet.
Go
So
ahead.
so we live in an intelligent society now,
Mm.
and some of the assumptions that the president is going out to South Korea to attend a peace summit or conference.
Mm.
Yes,
So first of all,
that's what he.
they've debunked there's no conference that's happening in South Korea. That's number
Mm.
one.
Mm.
Number two, given Lubinda left the country a couple of days ago to Dubai. So the whole
Mm.
machinations, when you begin adding these things together,
Mm.
you find that the former president of Zambia, is not as dumb as people think or as broke or poor as he is. Uh, these guys have invested heavily outside Zambia. And
Mm.
so there is this rumor that he wants to come back in power. I don't know whether it's a rumor or not, but it's a known fact. He has intentions. And so he's beginning to move and take advantage of the opportunities now to sort of meet his associates outside the country
Mm.
and begin to unleash those funds that are sitting in different offshore accounts.
Mm.
It's a strategy. We have a lot of informers and intelligent people in this world that put these things together. So they've done some good investigations. It's pointing to one thing.
Mm.
Uh, there's no peace conference in Korea.
Mm.
It's
Mm.
an opportunity for the former president to go out and take stock of how much money he has or meet his funders or
Mm.
basically it's
So
it's
they can't do that over Zoom.
they can't do it. If you may repeat.
They can't do that. They can't do the meetings over Zoom. Why does it
Oh,
Why does it need to travel? Everything is
oh, no, no, no,
digitalized.
no, no. You can't. They can never use Zoom. These are highly advanced operations that require in person. media issues.
So in short, we are talking about dirty money.
Not really getting money, but putting
If
strategies.
you are, I'm just saying now, being a devil's advocate.
Yeah.
If I'm a founder, I'm an investor. We know we know these things happen
Yes,
all over the world.
absolutely.
Yeah. So I zoom in on Zambia and say, okay, let me see who I should support. Okay, we have Alebwele Lapo on the other side. We have the Bantustan coin master, Freddie Membe on the other side. You know, and we have, who else am I saying? So I weigh my options. Do I go with Alebwele Lapo or um, Mr. Member? You know, I look at how did they did the last election or the by-election, what are the numbers looking like? So, and then I say, okay, I'm gonna go with Alebwele Lapo because they seem to have numbers, or I'll go with, you know, um, Mr. Membe. So why can't I just, you know, wire them the money and say, hey, you know, before even I wire them money, I said, look, you guys, if you win, I need these assets, or you pay me back these amounts. Okay, let's sign everything digitally. That's what we do. It's done the world over. I mean, I'm an investor. I don't need to meet Mr. Longo.
Yeah.
You know,
but
I
it doesn't
think
work like
put,
that. Go ahead, boss.
analyze it, and just to see how things are. Maybe, you know, like he said, that it needs to be there because obviously he's trying to get some funding for either their party, of course, for the next coming election. Now, to mobilize some funds. But of course, Ngayava wire transfer, when it's such huge amount of money, it can, you know, trigger some red flags from bank. But I think the privileges
so are they planning to bring cash, like
that's what was
$10
going to be my
million
next point.
in a
If they
private
bring
jet?
cash, Katuishi, I mean, since it's got that, still got that immunity and diplomatic passport, I don't think while I search in the gate when he's traveling, I don't know.
No,
$10 million.
I can sort of explain that. It's a sophisticated process. It's not as simple as we think. A well-known fact, because I was part of the inside team, a number of investigations were done. How the PEPs, politically exposed persons, were moving funds out of Zambia through the help of a number of highly sophisticated syndicates. And you cannot just have a Zoom meeting on such high level issues, number one. Number two, it has to travel out to go and meet and take stock of these monies outside Zambia. And these are known facts because Mr. Lungu is not as poor as we think. If he's doing it locally, they can track and trace him. He has to go out. Even when he's meeting all these people that are maybe going to help him, fund him, it has to be, these are high-level meetings that can never happen in Zambia. Impossible. Because now the government's eyes are open, and the whole point is they want to see this guy who claimed he retired from politics. He has been, we've been giving him his retirement benefits, and we've been paying him his rents, a lot of money, expensive. But secretly, he's trying to come back. So now the focus is on him right now. And so when they got information that he may be planning otherwise, that's why they stopped him. They said, no, I think they've done their information. Remember, these guys are working. They know. They have facts. They can never just stop a guy like that to say, listen, But again, in terms
Yeah, there
of
must be something
But then,
huge.
I mean,
yeah,
for me, my worry is what the way it's being perceived, because what's important for this government is the perception they're creating.
Exception.
Yeah, because the opposition
yeah,
now they're going to town. Because let me actually, before we even finish it, let me
mm-hmm,
marry this.
mm-hmm,
Um, if you remember on Thursday or Wednesday last
mm-hmm,
week, he was denied another chance to travel to South Africa for
Yes.
medical, you know.
yeah,
So, and if you remember, the opposition went to town with that,
yeah,
and using it as one of the many examples this government is prosecuting or persecuting them. So,
mm-hmm,
so we have two incidents barely a week where those attempts to go abroad have been denied.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
What is the person on the ground thinking?
mm-hmm,
Because
But everyone that is
this,
being persecuted,
uh,
you know,
because I've gone to town
it's
saying he's being persecuted.
persecuted. Yeah.
Yeah, you know, that
mm,
his rights are being trampled upon. So it will be
mm,
interesting to see who's Judge who's Chile, what was that name I saw? Um, how he rules tomorrow on the case that he took on his rights, that he's being
mm-hmm,
denied to travel as a citizen.
Mm.
You know,
yeah.
so
The perception, Madam Moderator, not to cut you short, definitely it sends a lot of bad signals. If I were in the UPND leadership, I would probably never block him. Like, give a man enough rope to hang himself.
Mm.
Right now, it's almost something that everybody is speculating. We don't know if
Mm.
he's coming back. He wants to stand, but give the man
Mm.
enough rope and let's prove
Mm.
him wrong. Because when he goes out and he begins to mobilize and gives us the intentions to say he's going to stand, well, now we can take him on and say, listen, you
Mm.
lied to the Zambians, you got money, we paid you,
Mm.
and you've come back from retirement. So we deal with
Mm.
him at that point.
Mm.
That's how I
Mm.
look at it. For now, there's just this fear of unknown by UPND. Let's not fear one man, okay?
Yeah.
I think we are
I
larger
think we're
than
even
one
making
man.
him to be more relevant.
popular for nothing,
You know,
irrelevant.
when
Exactly.
really like the Zambian people don't even want him. You know, but
Yeah.
if you
Hmm.
see Nefia Kumuchinga Chinga, you start start looking like he's a threat when he's not.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, and
So,
then when you have um, the narrative that it's actually State House
mm-hmm.
involved, and
That's the
then
problem.
on the other hand, we are preaching, oh, we are this,
Yeah.
light for democracy and respecting freedom's right, and
Yeah.
then the
Mm-hmm.
opposition are coming in that we're being, prosecuted now directly from State House. What does my uncle at Lugwalo
Yeah.
village say? you know, somehow I had to go there.
You had to go there.
I
Yes.
had to go there. You know, so all these things. I mean, I don't know what we're thinking. I don't know. So, um, it's interesting to see what happens tomorrow at court. Of course, some of us will be fast asleep because I haven't had enough sleep in a couple of days.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the weekend.
Oh no, I just had a lot going on.
Uh,
Sometimes one thing happens and another happens
Another
piling
thing.
up, and
Yes.
then
Yes.
yes.
you had already committed your time somewhere that you go. So
Mhm.
so that kind
Okay.
of thing. So, but anyway, it is what it is. So we move on.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, so we move on to this other story, which I think maybe I should have started with that, but it is what it is. So we move on to the story of um, that broke out actually yesterday as well.
Mm-hmm.
You know, um, somehow, I mean, with this story, I would say justify why they're
Yeah.
blocking these people from leaving Zambia now.
Mm.
Um, you had there was a documentary done by ZANU PF in
Yes.
Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Mm. Mm.
Yeah, and it featured um, uh,
Tayali and them guys, right?
Tayali, Given Lubinda, Emmanuel Mwamba, who else did
Membe,
I?
Membe.
Raphael,
Mm.
Savimbi Nakachinda. You know,
Yeah.
where they were just painting, the former vice president in the MMD, Pastor Nevis Mumba. Is he
Mm.
a doctor now as well?
It's doctor, yeah.
I think, yeah, doctor. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Mm.
so, so they painted him blacker than he is
Mm.
because of his role of not declaring the Zimbabwean elections free and fair.
Mm.
Mhm,
You know.
mhm.
So what? I mean, I looked at that documentary and I'm like, where are these people's patriotism? How desperate do they want to come into power?
Mm. That's
Why allow
desperation.
yourself
Mm.
to be used by another government,
Mm.
uh, you know, to just, sally and portray Dr. Mumba as somebody who's not qualified,
Mm. Mm.
who's
Mhm,
biased,
mhm.
he had no facts, to lead the mission as an overseer. They just ended the elections.
Mm.
How? Somebody help me. How?
No, it's a very simple thing, okay? You need to understand that, in fact, there are two things here I'll talk about. Number one, uh, the opposition in Zambia is so bitter, okay? Where the
Hmm.
bitterness comes from, I don't understand. They literally want HH to fail, even when the president is trying hard. You will never hear good things from these guys. So, long story short, they colluded with some opposition there, and they put up this crazy documentary. I think it's there on YouTube, but I would have to
Mm-hmm.
look at it and then share with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing but full of lies. Okay, there's so much lies in there. I listened to it. I mean, I just couldn't believe it. So what they are trying to do is this. That's the second part. They are trying to create a hostile environment between these two countries. Okay, and paint HH as a black sheep to say, Munangagwa, your neighbor HH uh, doesn't approve your elections, and that's the reason he hasn't come back to congratulate you and all that. But but it's a tight situation here, moderator. It's a tight situation. Zimbabwe is our neighbor, and so we have to come up with a strategy to bring in diplomacy between these two countries. Because already now, my understanding is that the president of Zambia hasn't come forward to congratulate Mnangagwa.
Mm.
And already to me, that's a diplomatic flop. We have to somehow figure out how we can fix that. And
Mm.
so the opposition is riding on that Hail Mary to say, we told you that
Mm.
even Nevers Mumba is not credible. This guy was bent on destroying Zimbabwe. They colluded with the president of Zambia and the West to destroy Zimbabwe. So they are adding fuel to that situation to create some volatility there. If I were, again, in this leadership, I would seriously think about how we can come out of this whole thing with clean hands and really justify our position. If we can't congratulate Mnangagwa and his team there and all that, so be it. But let maybe the president can say something on this. In my view, okay.
Yeah, definitely the
But isn't the president's hands tied because he appointed Neves Mumba to lead the delegation, and now he's the SADC chairman. So how do you rubber stamp that you know from the reports that you've been provided that the elections were not free and fair?
Yeah, so you need to understand that during the elections in Zimbabwe, I was actually in Zambia myself, and I interacted with a lot of folks, and I think at some point I was in Siavonga there. I showed you my hat here, it says Siavonga.
Mm-hmm.
And there are a lot of Zimbabweans now coming from across.
Mm-hmm.
We lost him.
Well,
his network.
Yeah, network.
They're coming.
Oh, to be honest, propaganda this group. I mean, it's a bad group, and the propaganda they're trying to do will actually create a rift between Zambia and Zimbabwe.
That's the whole point. It's taking advantage of a situation and blow it up out of proportion. So that basically you have to ride on anything that seems like it to create this thing. This is how the young man Chilufya operates. He rides on saddles, meaning if he sees there's a train going north, he'll jump on it. It comes south, he'll jump on it.
On it.
He doesn't have a system. He doesn't have a formula. And now he's trying to team up to look like he's this big opposition guy in Zambia. And the fact that his name is mentioned among the other oppositions and so forth, I think it's for him, it's like a big thing. It's like he's recognized. You get what I'm saying? But he's just a small guy.
I mean, you can never trust him. Today he's saying one thing, the other day he's talking good about HH, the other day saying bad about HH. Like, like you don't know where you stand.
He has no spine. He doesn't have what it makes to.
No, first he was like, no, ECL needs to come back. That's the only way we're gonna save the PF. But no, ECL don't come back. Like, what are you trying to say? At because that guy likes money.
He's good to that Ethiopian wife of his that he needs to take care of.
Yeah, he needs to do that, but in the right way.
But so, I mean, I don't know why he can't just let that girl work. I mean, she's a qualified accountant from a University of Ethiopia of some kind. Just let her work, and she wants to work. But he's keeping her home.
Never a president. He's the president. Never a president. So
don't take me to the dark side. I was just about to unleash the unpalatable on life. Yeah.
In Ethiopia, is known as Zambia's biggest opposition leader. Yes.
Any of them, they can't just Google. That's an easy fix. Somebody tells them the biggest I can come out here and say I'm Miss Zambia 2020 something. Are people just gonna take that at face value? Shouldn't you dig deeper first?
Right.
Exactly.
So if I
Yeah.
pay branding in,
And branding, that's what they're doing, because all their attacks on HH, starting with free education, Insala, Millie Mail, what did we have before that? Those blackouts, load shedding, CDF, they're not working, So now the thing they can do is they think if they align themselves with the ruling ZANU-PF, they will,
they'll
I
score
think
some
exactly
points.
they want to destabilize the country so they can, in a nutshell, for me, that's what I think. Because if my aunt in at Shikatende village is hearing this, that's, just stressing her life already, because they're thinking, well, ZANU-PF is coming to attack, because of all these talks.
Yes. Now,
yeah.
In addition to that, Madam Moderator, the opposition in Zambia is all about goose chasing. They don't have their game in place. Okay. I mean, look at the rebranding process of PF. This is 2023, and we're already headed into 2024. They are so confused, and I can just tell you that this thing that Mao Sampa started is not.
I was just about to bring that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is not
at ground. That boy ground. Oh my God!
Oh, it's something else.
Never to say Mbinda.
Yeah.
Never to say Mbinda.
Ndechitoba.
Oh my God!
And today I saw. I'm beginning to see these faces that created havoc during elections. And there's another one called Papa Gunasi. I saw his face for the first time today. Papa Gunasi. You heard of him, eh?
You have heard about him, yeah. Kwali ba Papa Gunasi, kwali bana uliahombi ati Joseph Chisimba. Groundy, at Mr. Groundy, they've got names now, but
then there's that American something, American CR1. Oh my God.
Something else. That American thing. Then there's also another one called the Commando. There's another. There are so many.
There's a group. It's like a group. It's like a group. They consider themselves Atama True Greens.
The Mao Sampa presser at the PF Secretariat on Friday.
Yeah.
No, but it's confusing. He was wearing a Socialist Party hat.
Actually, before we even go there, so let's go back. Let's rewind. Let's be allowed to rewind. So, given Luminda on Tuesday had this press away, we're here now. The appointment of Rafael Nakachinda as the Secretary General, and then we have
Bowman Usambo
as Deputy something mobilization chairperson. And yet there's a court case that doesn't give him power. He's not even following his only party constitution. He has no powers to appoint anyone. Why did Rafael Savimbi, Nakachinda, and Lusambo accept those appointments? When they know that the law doesn't support them?
It's power. They need those positions. I mean, it's power. They couldn't even just advise if they knew their own constitution. They could have advised the person appointing to say, we cannot accept it because it doesn't follow our constitution. It would be illegal for us to accept this position.
And there's a
politicians and people
the really judge has already ruled.
So that constitution itself, like Mao Sampa was saying, they need to go first to conversion. When you go to conversion, then they choose a new party president. That new party president is the one who has the powers to appoint the new Secretary General. not before the convention. Like it cannot be done.
But you need to understand that PF is a party of confusion. Simon Mwewa calls it the notorious NPF.
Yeah, I hear that.
The issue here is this, and I think that's what is giving Miles some spine to really have a voice. Okay, when they advertised to have people file in their nominations, you guys will agree with me that I think 9 contendants came. Okay.
Yes, with bags of 200,000
cash.
Yes.
Cash.
And that's equivalent to roughly maybe $10,000. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this was, I believe, last year, in my view, 2022. And that time they said, no, they will have a convention and all that stuff to nominate a leader. But that didn't happen. And the rumor is there that...
No. Actually, let me correct you there.
Yes.
The filing of those nominations were done, I believe, at the end of September. The convention was supposed to happen in 2021. The convention was supposed to happen in March, remember, of 2022.
Yes.
Now you can proceed.
Very good. Thanks again. I kind of missed my dates there, but that's important. Then we started hearing the excuses. Remember, they said, no, we can't have this because, it's falling on this day and something happened, they couldn't. Then they moved it forward. But what they have failed to give or to report to the people is that that money has been misappropriated. Okay, 1.8 million. Gone.
Yeah, so, looking at these people.
Value for the shop, yeah? They gave each other the value for the shop, Chilangwe.
They got themselves their bonus.
Man.
I'm told you, remember he had disappeared, that same guy, the acting SG. Then
he's been forgotten.
They arrested him, right?
He's in jail. He can't come out.
Arrested.
He's in jail.
Oh, so he was arrested because that time they were looking for him and he disappeared, right?
He was on the run. They went on the run na Kaiza. They became a fugitive.
So
yeah.
He served jail time where? Like some prisons in northern.
I think
he's
in remind, I think.
Yeah, he's remanded in Porokorsat.
Okay. But I think when I look at the constitution, there's some term limits in terms of when a member of staff has been absent, an MP has been absent from parliament, and then they lose.
Isn't it 3 months?
They lose
or
the privilege.
6 months. That's why I wanted my MP to answer that question.
No, okay.
Yeah.
You should know.
No, next time I'll do a research on that.
That's interesting. Yeah, I think I remember reading something like that.
Yeah,
we need a by-election and add in a few MPs there, especially in his block there. We need
so that we can impeach.
But the point,
I'm sorry, we just have to impeach and get our money. That's all. That's all I'm interested in.
But the point
all these shenanigans about stopping him at the airport is absolutely ridiculous. Let's impeach.
The point I was driving to, moderator, before I forget my thoughts here, is that Mao Sampa is coming from, I believe, a very genuine perspective. The PF leadership, they haven't honored their obligation. So what Mao Sampa is saying, let's have a convention. And that's why he stormed that place and brought in these cadres. And they said, until we get to the convention and choose a leader. A known fact here is that why, given Luwinda, back to your point here, moderator, he's been doing all these things secretly. This is a strategy to bring in Walungu, okay? PF Constitution is very clear. In fact, I have a document here. I was reading it the other day. Whatever these guys are doing is so illegal, very illegal. And that's why the courts are sticking up for Miles Sampa. He's bringing in these challenges legally to challenge these guys because it's their own document they are abrogating. They have this constitution and they are not following it. And we saw the appointments of Bowman Lusambo and the other character. That's what's going on. I think
And
support
Bowman
Miles.
Musamba was on Diamond TV saying his first order of business is to check party structures in Southern Province and Western Province. What kind of... Anyway, that we're going to have a topic specifically that touches my soul about these opposition parties who are forever talking about the tribal talk. I'm sick and tired of it.
Oh, me too. I'm sick and tired.
Those guys. That's a topic that we need to have. An honest discussion.
That's really, really, really bad. Like there are types of politics. I think they don't understand that Zambians, they've moved on, and now they can see them for who they are. And what they're trying to do, in our politics, division, trying to put a rift between northern part of Zambia, southern part of Zambia. The people have read through those lines, and now I'm like, no, we cannot follow you because of that. Those are the other reasons, actually, that why they even lost. Aside from violence, So violence was just one big thing, but as well, tribalism is another huge thing that the PF has gone down for.
I always ask myself, I mean, if I'm questioning those people, like if I'm interviewing Bowman Lusambo and the others, I'll ask him, you tell me, which Zambian family at the moment will 100% say, oh, in my family, we are all Tongas. Yeah? Where we are now. But anyway, that's a discussion for another day. I always am all over the place.
No, that's okay. Let me add on something there. Among themselves, the MPs, okay? These people, some of them are married, they are intermarried. And I know some of them, I can just tell you here. This guy, former Health Minister Chitaru, something. His wife is Tonga, okay? Honorable Kampiongo, his wife is Tonga. There are quite so many.
Even Miles Sampa, his wife is Tonga.
Yes.
But you see, Miles Sampa will never be trouble. And if you look at Miles Sampa speaks very good Tonga because he went to Namianga. That's where he was raised. But his older sister was married out there.
He is very eloquent, and I was very surprised. I met him. And
that man knows more Tonga than I do.
He told me he went to Namianga. He was at Namianga. I said, this is very good. So guys, we are like my young brother Roy. He's an engineer.
Oh, it's Wesley. Oh, I forgot to call him.
My young brother is married to a girl from the northern block. Okay.
Yes, I can hear you.
From the northern block.
Thank you so much for getting up. It's
welcome
in China.
Welcome.
Just briefly, thank you.
I was supposed to call him.
It's like tomorrow our time there, isn't it? It's like
yes.
It's 3 a.m. in the morning.
Wow.
So anyway, you found us talking about but we'll give you the platform because we want you to give us your overall perception of the presidential trip.
The China trip.
In China this past week. Please share your insight.
Yeah, no problem. I mean, I don't mean to interrupt what you guys are discussing. I'll be interested to hear, to listen into what you guys are talking about. Ali, is this
Yeah,
from
you
Mr.
can
Ali?
listen in after you give us
Yeah,
your.
yeah.
Ah,
Bawezi, how are you?
uh, uh,
Good to see you, Mr. Wes. Good to see you.
yeah. Long time, long time.
I
Yeah.
know. I
You
remember
are
our
in,
days
are you in
when you
Zambia?
came to Texas. Yeah, go ahead. Huh?
You're in Texas.
Yeah, no, I'm back from Zambia last week. I came last week to be precise. Yes, I'm back here in Texas.
Okay. Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah. So yeah, how was Zambia?
No, Zambia was great, and had time to meet the leaders before they traveled that side. In fact,
Oh, you
when I
did.
got into yes, when I got into Zambia, the few days then they were leaving for Israel. So then I waited. There were a number of conferences in Livingstone, and then we had another one in Siabonga. So then I had an appointment to meet the leaders. I met quite a lot of them. So yeah, I mean, I knew about the China trip before they came over there, the
Okay.
strategies they had in place, and we're hoping that the president will spend time to talk about it in detail. And
Yes.
yeah,
That's true. Yeah, that's good.
yeah.
Uh, that's no, we are also hoping that
Hmm.
they can sell I guess the agenda more a bit more
Yeah,
to the Zambian people, right?
that's
Uh,
correct. Yes,
Correct.
and
Yes.
everybody is waiting for that.
yeah.
Uh, they want to
Yeah.
hear.
Yeah, we want the 1.5 billion investment
Yeah.
pledges to roll into the country like yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I saw those pictures, Wawezi. You at least you met most of the prominent ministers.
Yeah,
You
well, I
know.
made just a few. What's fun is I was just thinking today.
Mm.
I was just thinking today. The thing is, I don't know, and I don't follow social media the way like I don't know a lot
Mhm.
of the ministers. Actually, I don't know what they look like. I say most of them,
Mm.
I don't know what they look like. I know
Mm.
names. I know the names in the paper. I know people like Felix Mtati. Of course, I know
Mm.
the Jack. The what's the name? Jack Mwimbu. Jack wasn't there here, but people
Mm.
like the Mazabuka MP.
But you need to know your fellow troops, Bawezi. You got to know your fellow
Well,
troops.
I should, but here is what I was actually thinking today. I was thinking like,
Mm.
you know, I think I should, but I don't. I shouldn't really. I don't really live in Zambia, right? There are ministers that I don't know. Like, I didn't know who Frank. What is his name? Tayali looks like.
Frank Tayali.
Frank
Oh,
I
Terry.
didn't know what
Frontier.
he looked like, and
The
it was after.
robbers.
It was after
Uh,
they left. It was after where they left. That's I realized. Oh, so that was who he was. And here's what I was thinking.
Mm.
Like you here in China. Look, you are at the Shangri-La Hotel. In China, and
Mm.
there's a few black people. I'm at a bar or I'm seated at a restaurant or whatever. And here are
Mhm.
all these high-profile people from Zambia who are coming in and out of upstairs from their rooms and so forth and so forth. I have never, I was at the conference in Livingstone the other time when there were, ministers and other people. I have
Mhm.
never had a minister or someone who calls themselves a leader in Zambia come to you and introduce themselves. Never happened to me. You know what I
Oh, I
mean?
see. Yeah,
You see what
Mm.
yeah,
I mean?
yeah.
Where they come to say, hey, I'm the minister of local government, in Zambia or something like that. Never.
Gary
You know?
So,
Kombo.
so maybe
Oh, it
that's a
doesn't
very
matter. No one has ever done that. Doesn't matter. So I had to
that's a
go
very
like a
good
few.
point, Bawezi. Just on that one.
Yes.
Let me
Yes.
Mm.
let me pause for a second here, not to interrupt you. So why do you think that is important as a leader?
It's important because one is that
Mm-hmm.
you connect to a people, to the
Mm-hmm.
electorate, the people that you serve, right? You know, and
Yeah.
that's just important because it's happened to like in Canada. I meet ministers and MPs, and they always come to you. Like they'll come to you and introduce themselves. Hey, my name is so. I'm the MP of this, constituency. You know what I mean? They'll come to
Mm-hmm.
you.
So why
So
do you think? Why do you think our ministers haven't done so? Don't do that. And then there's a very important point there that I'll sort of chime in. But why do you think it's like that?
well, I think because they regard themselves as were obviously more important than we are, and that for me, and also that maybe I don't know, like maybe you ask for something, or if it was in Zambia, like I would say maybe they are trying to be incognito, but it's not true actually. They don't want to be incognito. They want to be seen. I know that they want to be seen. They love the publicity. They love to be seen that they are they are important.
So
For everyone. So yes.
Not to cut you short, Vawezi, what you're saying is you were in the same hotel with the
Right.
ministers, and you're the only black person there, and then
One of the few. Well, yeah, one of the few. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Oh, but
You know what I mean?
okay. Did you make an effort yourself to approach them?
Because some of them I didn't know. Yeah, it's not that they didn't. Some of them I didn't know if they're ministers. Like I said, I didn't know. But I talked. I reached out to I had a good conversation with Mutati and a few others. Not a problem. Like it's not the problem is not me. I can go and talk to them. It's not a problem usually if they're not busy or they're not talking to someone. So that's not a problem. Like I'll go and talk to them, introduce them. That's not a problem. Like I have no problem introducing myself. But I was just thinking, no one has ever. Again, it happened in Washington, D.C. when I lived there and all those places. It happened. Same thing. I was just thinking, because like I said, some of them I didn't know who they were. Like I didn't know what they look like. You know what I mean? And I don't know, like even the Minister of Foreign Affairs, I didn't really okay. And the only reason I noticed it was him is because before the president had arrived, he was kind of like the most high-profile person there, and the Chinese security, whatever, were guarding him before they went to the airport. You know what I mean? That's kind of like how I noticed that was him. But again, we are just seated around here. It's mostly Chinese people. There's a few black people. It didn't matter if I'm Kenyan. It didn't matter if I'm Malawian. Like someone can just come and say hello, morning, do you live here in China? My name is so, I'm visiting from Zambia,
Yeah.
That's how you meet people.
I understand your feeling, Vawezi.
Suppose, I mean, can I be a devil's advocate? So, like in the case of the foreign affairs minister, you said this was being guarded. It was the most high profile. Suppose he didn't have time to walk over or wander around to have
that's okay.
a leisurely talk.
Oh yes, absolutely, and that's fine. And like in that case, I understand it's fine. But some of them were just sitting around, like we're just sitting. But I didn't know. Like the same person I'm talking about, I'm just giving this as an example. Even the person that I ended up taking out shopping and some of the State House people that were, I ended up taking.
You have managed to take them out shopping. Yeah, it's such a nice man.
Yeah. I mean, like I bought them dinner. Like I bought people dinner. Like I spent,
Hello to the no. Oh, excuse my friend.
No, but the people from the embassy here said, hey, take Minister, what's his name? Minister of Commerce, and he's very, very outgoing guy.
Kapoka.
Yeah. So, so I took them
very
around.
Nice guy.
I like Kapoka. He's one of my favorite MPs.
Correct. Very nice guy.
My favorite MP
or
minister who I want to meet is the melodious Jack Mwimbo.
Yeah,
I mean, he's just changed from the time.
I don't think Jack Mwimbo was around, right? I don't think he was.
No, Jack wasn't around. But there's a point I want to mention here, Vawezi.
Yes.
Okay, so some of the things we do, obviously, when we go on the ground, being leaders in UPND, is to try and bridge that gap that you talked about.
Yes.
Yeah, because when you go on the ground, it's the same cry. Everybody will tell you. There's a disconnect between these and those.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And partly that's the reason why we've got to work very hard as UPND to really bridge this gap, because some of us is really a bad thing, especially to the grassroots.
Yes.
The youths, more especially the youths, they will tell you exactly what Bawe said.
Mhm.
An MP will never lower themselves and come to them and introduce themselves. Okay?
Mhm.
And yet they're forgetting that is the strength they have. You
Exactly.
can bring yourself down and
Mhm.
introduce yourself. Sometimes be deliberate. That's what I was telling them. Even when
Exactly.
we met at that famous place at Impoto. We had a big lunch there with a number of leaders there.
Mhm.
You have to be deliberate as a leader.
Yeah.
And think strategy. That's part of strategy,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
That's a missing link right there. And I hope that we'll get to a point where our audience really grows and we
Yeah.
can be speaking and preaching to these people, because I think that we have a message. We have a message, and if they can hear these messages we're talking about, I think they would bring in positive
Right.
results.
And the reason that is very important, it's more so important, and you see
Yeah.
Zambians who are dressed in Zambian attire. You know, I had brought because I have a lot of Zambians here. You know, I mean, here in China they call me Bali. They call me literally these young people and people. They
Bali.
literally call me Bali here in China. So you know, these
Yeah.
young people came and especially the Zambians here in Shenzhen. They came. They asked me to reach out so that we can take a picture, you know, with president and I understand he was busy on that Monday on the Monday night. So anyway, I mean, I understand, I was upstairs and probably preparing for the departure the next day, but it didn't work out. And some of them did come the next morning, and individually they're able to take pictures with the president, And I talked to the State House, one of the
advisors.
Whatever, yeah. He said, just come in the morning and just whisper to me. I said, well, I have to work in the morning, but some of these guys will come, will come. And they say, and I said, I know the president, if someone talked to him at that time, he would probably have come. He says, the Zambian, I know him, like he would probably have come. If he had a couple of, 20 minutes or so, he would have come to take pictures. I know that. But anyway, a lot of those who were there the next morning able to take pictures with them, and I saw that. So the point, my point is, again, like for some of the ministers and state house officials, they are Zambians. That these people we didn't come with them or whatever. They are Zambians who possibly maybe they're students or whatever here in China. Like you can go and talk to them. You know what I mean? You can go and say, you can just say hello. So like you can go and
like
talk
integrate
to them.
that
Exactly.
integration we're looking for.
Especially people who work at State House. There's a lot of those, but we don't know who they are. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And they do a good job, and I love to hear their stories and what how things are going. And because we are their cheerleaders. Remember, I'm UPND, and I would introduce myself. I'm here in China. I'm UPND. I'm part of the executive of United States, US, Canada. Like I introduced myself like that. I said I play politics. I am your cheerleader, and that's exactly like the ambassador. That's what I talk ambassador about here.
Okay.
And the ambassador understands that. I'm here to do, like, to help you, to make you look good. That's my job.
Yeah.
And
harmonize government and party.
Exactly.
That's what
exactly.
I said, you guys, there are certain things that I can say, I can do that you can't do. You see, you see, so use us. We are here to kind of make you look good, because again, we have been party supporters for decades. So as we are in this for the long haul, and we are kind of like, I mean, we are joined, at the hip, with the president, with the president of UPND for a long time, so anyway, so I think it would just be nice for them to be able to think, like, because in Zambia, I might understand that it took so many people in Zambia, so whatever, but here if there's like 7 Zambians loitering around at Shangri-La Hotel who are like, you can just go and say, you know what I mean, like you can do that.
Meet them and
That's true. That's true.
Okay.
Anyway, that's that.
Yeah. Well, why don't you chime in on the 1 billion investment and and the good things that the president achieved or got out of that, visit.
Yes, where is he? I mean, let's go back to your article. That was a very insightful
Yeah.
I read
article.
that. That was good.
That was a good write up on the visit.
So yeah.
So
So
now
anyway,
put it in words for us.
yeah. So there's a lot of clearly, like, I mean, the president and his entourage were really busy. Here in the 6 days that the president was here himself. It was a very action-packed days. But let me like maybe just kind of talk about Shenzhen. I had a friend in Canada who asked me, why Shenzhen? Why not Beijing? When he came here, when I was like, well, he's gonna go to Beijing. Beijing is kind of like that's the where he's gonna get the official,
Welcome and all that.
yeah, like the official. I told him, I said, well, I mean, I think Shenzhen is like the Silicon Valley of China, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
all the big, technology companies are in Shenzhen. So, and some of those companies, obviously the president visited Huawei, BYD, which is, the largest, one of the largest, electronic vehicle automakers in the world.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just not too far from where I live here. It's kind of the next district where I live. And ZTE also, also it's nearby where I live. So these companies, plus a few others, here in Shenzhen, I think clearly, the reason Shenzhen matters is that we can see that, the fact that they came here is that the focus also for us as Zambians, and where we want to go, is we are thinking about the future, right? We are thinking about
Correct.
how we are thinking about innovation. We are thinking about renewable energy. We are thinking about digitizing some of the stuff like in Zambia. I think that's really really important. I know someone said they were talking to, I guess, the minister. One of the guys who had the chance to talk to the minister ended up he was saying that they are thinking about because here in China, like the cars, Chinese cars have cameras. Like they have so many cameras in the car and outside the car. A car, just a simple car, can have maybe 25 to 30 cameras.
Serious.
Okay. Yeah,
Wow.
they do exactly, like inside and outside. My friend of
We
mine.
only have one.
Yeah, so
Or
the
none.
reason that's important, especially here in China, it's also important for liability and for insurance. So when an accident happens, they go back to the camera, they look at who was at whatever, and who was at spot, and so forth and so forth. But anyway, this person chatted with the minister, and he was saying that they are looking at possibly maybe installing that in bars and stuff like that. Which is I think a potentially good thing, depending on what the motive, like what they want to get out of that, right? So yeah. So I think what's also important, of course they went to these are other provinces where they looked at things like the company that makes high speed rail here in China, one of the companies in Fujian, and like those companies trying to maybe upgrade the Tazara, right?
That'll be a
Obviously
good idea. That'll be a good idea.
so that would really be important. Also, so all these companies, and I, like, for me, Beijing wasn't even a thing, because there's so many there's so much like so many things were signed. I think
MOUs.
yes, what's her name, the lady at State House, Cherise. You guys, I don't know if you know her. She said she's the I think she
What's
works
her
under
name again?
Maris Hafner. She works under Hamasaki, I think. She told me she works under her massage.
Is she white or what? Is that
Yeah, she's like colored. Yeah.
Oh, I think
Yeah,
I
she's-
know. I probably know.
You know her, yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
she's like colored.
Yeah.
She's like,
Yeah.
yeah. So anyway,
Okay.
we had a good Sure, she sent me a lot. She sent me a lot of articles and these MOUs. Actually, I forgot to forward those to the group. But you know, this is really important for both Zambia and China because you know Chinese companies as well. They are excited about what's happening in Zambia, right?
Mm.
So they are excited about going to Zambia and opening shop and trading with Zambian partnership with Zambia. So they are excited to see that. Like I often say, here in China there are so many rich people or who want to expand their businesses or expand in Africa, but they just don't know how to do it. And for me that's where the biggest benefit for an average Zambia is going to come from. It's the stuff that we don't know about. Like a lot of these young men and women who work here in Shenzhen, they work for different companies. Some of them work for companies that do they do phones, or they do phone.
Hello?
I think we lost Lawes, eh?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I kind of understand his point. So what he's saying is that the actual economic benefits to the Zambians will trickle in when we see a number of these investors based in China who may be wanting to come to Zambia and do these individual investments. Okay, I think the difference here is that the president has a bigger agenda than what we saw in PF, because many of us have been on the ground in Zambia and we've looked at the type of investors that came from China, and that worried me a lot. Ways a number of investors you find in Zambia now that came during PF, they either grow rape, they compete with Zambians, they're raising chickens, they are also raising quails and rabbits. So we want serious investors that will come and bring in real manufacturing industries, not to come and compete with Zambians raising utuma quails na ngushitisha vanani hapa. What you call these rabbits, okay?
Yeah.
Let's try again.
Ali,
Yes,
sorry about
in fact,
Kalinda.
Yeah,
okay, go ahead. I was just going to chime in on
no, you guys, you chime in. I'm actually talking to the Honorable Madeline, so I'm sorry. I thought
no problem.
All right.
No problem.
So,
yeah.
Moneni, you see, the thing is, there's one valid point that you brought out, Ali.
Yeah, this is very important.
That is, in what the president himself said, is this trip has given him the opportunity to meet with key companies.
Yeah.
Okay. One, we need the exchange of technology. Not just them coming and they set up business without Zambians learning how to do Pangama phone and all that stuff. We want to learn that type of technology. So this trip gave him that opportunity to meet all these key factors, key manufacturers. Yeah. Now, one funny thing is this: the opposition was laughing, but why by HH via different provinces, going to see all these other companies. When he's supposed to go and meet the president, they don't understand. They don't understand. One, the president is methodical in whatever he does. And this is an opportunity for him, because obviously there was a date and day that he was supposed to meet the president Xi Jinping. So he said, why not use the opportunity and maybe go earlier? Say if you're going to meet with him on whatever day it was, you go in 2 days earlier and meet prominent businesses, manufacturing businesses, and connect with them and convince them that, guys, come and invest in Zambia. What's wrong with that? But people,
No,
they were so up and arm saying, "Ah, wait, uyu muntu uyu takwatama nichaile kale HTF. Aleya mwana madani kale is wasting taxpayers. That's wasting."
Hello, Mulindi Mwede.
Eh.
no, there are two things here, Chanda. Here again, sorry, we lost words here. I think that he's very critical in this conversation. You need to understand that the opposition is like a headless chicken. Okay, they are going to jump on things that will seem to be giving them a little bit of oxygen, because they can create propaganda basically from nothing. Okay, and I think Zambians love propaganda. Now, the real issue here, Bachanda, is that the president understands what he's looking for, but he hasn't come to a point where he's able to share his vision, or maybe the people under him can begin to understand his vision. Okay, now let me give you an example here, and this is very important. The whole trip, for example, to China, the people under the president, for example, those in media and communication, could have basically be proactive and give a little bit of itinerary how the president is going to move in China, and then maybe tie it in with the fact that on the last day he's meeting the president of China. Okay, that's what you do when you're in leadership. Give the people enough information to kill themselves, because now all that propaganda that came, that how come the president didn't meet the China guy on the second day, because people didn't have information. Like now, there's a lot of speculation. I listened to the statement the president gave at the airport. It doesn't cut it for the Zambians that are hungry for information. So we ought to do very well in terms of communication, reach out to the people and tell them. If I were in the president's shoes, even before I left China to come to the airport, because when the president is coming in the country, he's expected to speak at the conference, at the airport there.
Hello, Honorable, I can hear you.
Then the guys could have been smart enough when Clayson Hamilton.
But I can't see you on our
even a one-page speech with bullet
on my
points.
page here.
Come to the president. Mr. President, you're expected to give a very powerful speech, a summary of your trip to China. Please, these are the key things that you need to talk about. Okay?
Try that link on your.
I listen to the president, he comes out of the plane.
Yeah.
That submission didn't cut it. And I'm sorry to say that. I'm a very strong UPND, but I would have loved to see a little bit more meat and really raise the temperature a little bit about expectations, okay? Because he did his part. We saw he's gone to different companies, he's talked to investors, and these guys will be coming in the country. But what you do is you warm the temperature first. You go there by airport, but and really speak your mind out and show zeal and enthusiasm of the gains that are coming from China. We didn't see it. And now they're debunking the trip. Yes, go ahead, sir.
Anyway, that's a really good point, Riley, that you bring, because I was asking about that myself here. Like, because for one thing is, I found out the president is coming the day before he was coming.
There you go.
And
me, always not to cut you short. I've got colleagues there in China. They told me that they've been fighting to meet the president, and they heard last minute that the president wasn't going to meet them. So what I'm telling you is that they are slow to act. I don't know whether it's for security reasons, but there's this whole issue.
Well, that's the claim too, but which I don't understand. And also, like, even when he was here, like I was asking the person who was actually in charge of the program for the president here in China, like, you know, the guy from the embassy, and he was like, well, we don't really know yet what he's gonna do. Like, how can you not know the president is, you know, like, he's landing in a few hours. How can you not know what the program is? Because other presidents around the world, we know exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah.
You know,
but when before Biden goes, but wait, a simple example. from here.
Exactly.
When Biden is going to
Yes.
this country, they even tell us his itinerary. Okay.
Thank you. Exactly. And exactly. No, you're right. You're right. And the same thing with many world leaders around the world. So why is it so secretive with with African leaders? So, and if they talk about security, that's not an excuse, right? I mean, I don't get it.
It's not.
And it and I think actually they miss out a lot on opportunities maybe to because to network with other, and especially let's say like, because example, like there are people, there's like the people who came like 3, 4, 5 days before the president came. A lot of those people didn't have anything to do. They didn't, once they landed here, for one thing, they didn't know how to to exchange money, because in China it's more complex, how to send money, how to use the internet and VPN. It's more complex, and also they could have used that time to kind of like, if people knew, once they know they were going to be here, like the ministers and all these other, like there was, I met the director of ZDE, the chairperson of ZDE, right? For example, aside from the official things that we're going to do, there are a lot of other opportunities for them. Maybe say, oh, I want to visit a company that does, that kind of, they can do that on the side. Like, you know what I mean? They can do that. And here's something interesting, ladies and gentlemen. For all these people, like officials, do you know the number one thing that almost all the officials were asking they wanted to do once they arrive in China? You guess.
No, what's that?
Shopping.
Yeah, they wanted to go shopping.
That's it?
Yeah.
They wanted to go. Everyone wanted
That's
to go
their
shopping.
focus.
They wanted me to take them to the mall. The ministers,
I would want to go and see like what Bali did. I mean, go and see, most relevant key, companies that build, manufacture, and connect with maybe other ministers within the province. Like, like
exactly.
if I'm a commerce minister, for example,
thank you. Exactly.
Then you meet with your fellow counterpart.
Thank you. Yeah.
And they learn and exchange notes.
Exactly.
It doesn't work like that.
And I was thinking, if I was a minister, I was Minister of Commerce or innovation, like in Muntati, whatever innovation is. Like I'm here, I have a bit of time. I have 4 hours to kill. I talk to the, to the embassy people. I say, hey guys, is there a place where I hear this place has a lot of electronic? It's an electronic giant here. Is there a place where I can see small businesses, operate? Maybe just take me for like half an hour, or spend an hour there. I said, can walk around. I just want to see. You see what I mean? Nothing. Everyone, where can I change dollars? Where can I go to the mall? But
okay.
yeah. But anyway, I understand. A lot they have shopping to do for their loved ones and so forth and so forth. I get it. But it's just interesting. Like many of them, they just want to go shopping first. When they get a chance. So. Yeah. Anyway, back to what I was saying here. Just to wrap it up before I go back to bed here. Like I think the opportunities, like I said, the opportunities for me, aside from the big, networking that the high level, like the president and ministers are doing, such as the manufacturing of batteries and potential opening of textiles. And the revamping of Tazara and all this other stuff, investments in agriculture and stuff. It's the little thing outside that's going to happen. That's what Zambians need to pay attention. Those that are growing. It can be cotton. It can be it can be tobacco. It can be spices. Paprika and all that other stuff. Those farmers or people that are involved in those in those industry have an opportunity now, because stuff is going to start happening. People need to educate themselves on how they can export to China. If they need to get a ZD export license or whatever that is, people need to have their papers in place.
In place.
You know what I mean? Because so that
correct.
so that if an opportunity comes, they should be able to do that. So I think to me, and that's why China stands out. Like China has what makes it really big. It's the small little businesses. And you say and I know you call China as a communist country, but communist is just the party that runs China. But China is the biggest capitalist country in the world. So
Yeah.
the irony, right? But so it's a small businesses that will and that's how Zambia can grow. Zambia
That's
wants
true.
to grow because of the mines.
Even
Zambia will grow.
Bawezi, just on that point, Bawezi, one big thing that we can also learn from China is agriculture.
Absolutely.
If you remember, China was one of the poorest countries.
Yeah.
But because of agriculture, agriculture is what led China to be where it is.
Absolutely.
Now, we've been struggling with agriculture. We got the land, we got the water, we got everything. But how to do things, I think, obviously, the president himself must have obviously met, and discuss all these issues in terms of agriculture and how we can learn from them and see how we can revamp the agriculture industry in Zambia. Because agriculture should be number one in terms of contributing to the country's GDP.
I think I had the honorable. I'm sorry, I'm in the background. I think I had the honorable in here for a minute. Is he here?
Oh, I think
there he is.
I see him from here. Yeah.
Oh, there he is. The one and only.
But it's a little bit.
The man doesn't need any introduction.
Can we get a little bit light where he
Madam
is?
Kalinda.
Huh?
How are you?
I am all right, honorable. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Viewers,
my apologies.
Viewers, this is my LP from Babala, Honorable Joseph Musanje.
Is he driving? I think we want to make sure the MP is safe.
Yes.
I've been waiting for a long time because I always reference to my mother's village, Lugwalo. From time to time.
You're welcome to the program. Mulikabotu ku Southern Province. Mulikabotu.
Tulikabotu, Muriwote.
Tuli bueno. Yeah, that's me, a Bemba man speaking Tonga here.
Before now we are saying one Zambia,
one
nation.
Yeah, that's right.
Lamusanje, this is Wesley here.
And honorable Wesley, from China.
Yes, Wesley, long time.
Yeah,
we missed you when you came around. I just heard that you were around.
Yeah. I think I thought I sent you a message.
Yes, but we didn't get to physically meet.
I know, yeah. I know. But how is the family?
No, the family is very fine.
Okay. Oh, that's good.
The family is very fine.
Well, we are grateful.
Yeah. Sure. Good.
But
all right, honorable. So after all the nice things have been said about you, thank you for joining us on a little podcast here. So on my left, if you can see, I'm pointing. That's the numbers man on our little podcast. the chat box here, Mr. Alimwene, the one and only. There's no other.
Yes, but honorable, honorable. I think you and I have interacted on several levels.
Yes.
Through my big brother here, Elliot. But I'm excited to see you and to connect. At this level, obviously, we have a lot of things to discuss. I don't know how much time will allow us, but this is a great thing that you came in. You're one of the distinguished leaders. In fact, I was talking to some of the senior leaders when I was on the ground last week in Zambia. I said the next health minister or the next what is this famous minister in Zambia? Should be leader Joseph Nsanje, MP Joseph Nsanje. I think that you deserve not only a mantle but also a ministerial leadership, Honorable.
Twarumba.
Yeah, I've already told him that. He knows how I feel about that.
I think in Tunga.
Well, and here is the thing also, you know, Bavara MPs are usually high profile MPs, right? So you know, usually they usually they are ministers. But anyway, I think also the president, but I have to tell you also, just from what I know, you know, about the president, from what I hear also, is very strategic on you know, on how
I think so.
He uses his team. So because right now there's you know, there might be a little bit of agreements with certain ministries and all that stuff. So I think going forward we'll see some of these people beginning to be used in certain portfolios.
So let me add on there, always. I belong to an institute of think tanks here in the US, and so we do a number of statistics. So Honorable Musanje is actually in the tier 1 of high performing ministers. That's how important the Honorable is. He's in the tier 1 because when you see Honorable Musanje, he's always on the grassroots.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah.
In the constituents, basically.
Yes.
Working on projects, and you don't get it, you know, with the other leaders, which obviously will take his leadership style when they integrate it into the other leaders.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
No, we are happy to get a lot of that commendation. We'll keep pushing to ensure that the ground and the country at large benefits from what we do.
Beautiful.
As leaders for this tenure of the UPND.
Yeah, that's true. And actually, was at your page today, and I was seeing the great works that you're doing in the local communities in terms of CDF and everything else. I was like, this is what we need to do. I mean, we need to see among each and every minister. If the local community are able to benefit from you, I mean, look, everybody, I think it won't be a problem when it comes to, re-electing you,
Exactly.
Everybody,
Exactly.
the CDF is working. People were like, oh, hey, CDF is a hoax. It doesn't work. Show us where it's working, but we can see it from you.
Yes,
we can see it from you and what you've been doing, and I wonder why.
So maybe that leads us to one very important question here, Honorable Musanje, about CDF.
Yeah.
We know that budget. I think it's about well, they've increased it now. It's about what, 53 million?
28 million.
28.3 million.
28.3 million.
Yeah, 28.3 million.
Why do we get this idea that CDF doesn't work when actually we can see that it's working? Where is that propaganda coming from, Honorable? Maybe just help us to understand. Is CDF a hoax or it's real?
CDF is very real. It is very real. It's changing a lot of lives. It's I think there is, of course, the doomsayers who don't want it to be seen to be changing lives, and so they keep pushing that narrative, and sometimes people end up taking things for granted. They take certain things for granted, when in fact this is something that is helping a lot. So the challenge is actually on people taking things for granted, because we have taken, for example, over, between last year and this year. Last year we had something like 200 and about 300 plus school children, and this year we are 400. That's about 700 children in secondary school, and then skills. Last year 170, this year 314, So that's about 474 somewhere there, children who are undergoing skills training. So these who are undergoing skills training, already they are able to get jobs. Some of them are contractors, some of them are doing various pieces. They are power electrical people doing various contracts. So already their lives have started changing. And for those who are in the secondary school, they are basically learning, and the funding the parents used to pay, they used to pay 3,000 kwacha or so per term. That means that 9,000 is back in the family to help the family with the various developments.
Absolutely.
So definitely it is working. And then we come to the Youth and Women Empowerment Fund. Somebody today, one of the people we have helped with the loans in my constituency, they are rearing chickens. You see those chickens, so many village chickens. And we have that bakery, we've got the spares shop for bicycle spares, we've got the grocery shops and the like. So there's a lot which is happening, and
That's
it's
incredible.
also contributing to the electrification of the constituency. Areas that had never seen electricity are going to see electricity. And we continue to improve classroom space, improve clinics. We've got 12 clinics and 2 maternity wings that are being opened up that are going to help maternal and mother and child neonatal issues in our constituency. 12 clinics are going to help us improve the situation of health in the constituency. I'm just pushing for their opening right now. I was at ministry on Friday, and I'm pushing with the ministry to give me about 12 nurses, 12 porters, 12 guards. So that means we are basically create. But apart from health services, we are also creating jobs in the country. So it's really a game changer for everybody. And what we need is for us to, I think, keep showing the results that are coming from CDF works, because the results are not being shared 100%. And that's why I take it personal myself whenever I'm in the constituency to showcase all the things that we're doing under CDF. Everything
so
that
Honorable,
we do.
not to interrupt you, and again, through the
no
moderator here, because I have another call coming up in 2 minutes. I know we waited for you like forever, but I'm happy you're here. But this is just a follow-up question, maybe a suggestion to your office. So what you said is very critical. But do we have a central depository platform where we have all these beautiful gains and they're spitted out on either a platform or a website just specifically for the CDF gains that an individual can just go and look at exactly what we are doing? I think for me, really, the issue is we haven't done a good job as leaders to bring this information out. Because what you told me now is great information that if this information, I never knew these are what you're doing, but the only way I find out the great things you're doing is because you're all over and everybody talks about you. So I happen to really follow you, what you're doing. But not everybody is going to follow you. They want a quick fix. They want to go to one depository platform and look at all this information from different constituencies. How can we harness all that information, put it in one central location for all the constituencies, and really showcase our strength to the country?
Yes, I think that is a very good suggestion. Actually, it's a very good suggestion. It's something which I think the ministry needs to take up, and something I'll try and share to the PSCs at the Ministry of Local Government and maybe the Home Minister himself to ensure that we can do that, have a central depository unit where we can put all the CDF work. So far, what is happening is there is some private individuals who are running some private page. I think there is CDF in Zambia. It's a private initiative, that page. So that is one which currently people are using to send their stories. There is a Mr. Handong, where I think he's the one who created that page. So
Yeah, I know the gentleman. Yes.
yes, so we need I
Honorable,
think to have a government
as your subject, let me come in for just a second. As a subject from who has roots in Babara, where are we with the you know that bridge that almost got me into an accident last year, which I talked about with you? Where are we with that? Have we redone it? And I have a request from my uncle at Lugwalo. We need that school, Lugwalo Primary. Either we add a classroom or two and upgrade it, rehabilitate it. Those are my requests.
Yes, the bridge, we are fighting for its funding because it was evaluated for 3 million kwacha. So we are fighting for its funding. And then for the school, we are doing a rehabilitation of the school right now.
Oh.
Yeah, we are doing a rehabilitation at Rogwal right now. So as soon as we get the funding for the bridge, then it will be done. But we put it to RDA. We've been pushing for it to be funded. It's been quite some time now. The money has delayed to come.
Okay.
But we are still on it, pushing very much to have it secured.
Yeah, otherwise it'll be cut off in the rain season. How do you drive up there?
Yes, that is the issue.
Unless because the road coming from Monza, it also gets really bad.
Yes.
So
even the road actually, or the road is supposed to be graded. We are buying a grader this year, and the road we have earmarked for its first grading in the constituency is the Mangunza to Rugwaro. So you're going next time when you come, you find a graded road all the way to Rugwaro.
Oh yes, I'll be back in April, Honorable. I come to Zambia once a year. So
yeah.
I should be smiling.
So when you come next, you'll find a graded road all the way.
Speaking of roads, Mr. Musanje, I guess as someone also from that constituency, my concern would be from Muyobe to Macha. I mean, the road is okay. I mean, the grading is okay. Just the issue of tarmac. In the future, but I don't know. That's a very, very it would be very. That hospital, I think it saves a lot of people. I think it would be nice if it's graded, especially, Muyobe Bridge, Muyobe,
Yes, Muyobe Bridge.
Muyobe Bridge.
Muyobe Bridge. We have planned for it for next year. We'll work on it in 2024. We didn't have enough money. It also requires 1.7 million to uplift it up. So we didn't have enough money. So we have allocated something for 2024. And then in the tarmac, we are still fighting with the Ministry of Infrastructure to give us tarmac. There are promises, but it's not yet in concrete.
But the bridge will really be nice because from what the rain season, it's bad. It's bad. I drove through there, when I was in Zambia a couple months ago, and I can imagine during the rain season, when I was going to the village, I can imagine during the rain season, it's tough. Anyway, Galinda, you guys go ahead.
Sure.
Yes. How are we doing with the boreholes, Honorable? How many boreholes have been sunk so far?
Yeah, we are waiting for our drilling rig. We have now paid 5.5 million for the drilling rig to come. So once it comes, then we'll start doing the boreholes in the constituency. So we're waiting for the machine to arrive. So the ones
how many have we earmarked for the whole constituency?
We are doing a few under emergency. So we're just doing I think there are about 10 also under emergency. So a water scheme at Smaobi Secondary, another water scheme at Katava, a boho at Hakwambwa, a boho at Tututa, Katumbi, and the Narishua village. So those are the ones I can remember. So these are under emergency.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, sorry to cut you short, Bakalinda, but I have a question for Vamsanje. Do you, like, we see some other ministers back to CDF. Do you have time when you in parliament to meet with other ministers that say the CDF is not working in their constituencies? I can give you an example of, Wakampiongo. People from his constituency have been complaining that, nothing has been done. Do you ever sit and ask him, like, what is your problem? What is the problem? Like, where are you not, what are you not doing right that the people cannot access CDF? I mean, do you have those kind of talks?
Maybe we may not have holistic, like everybody being involved, but maybe on one we could have, and there are skeptics, out there also who just want to criticize for the sake of criticizing, but otherwise, the program is working, so we can engage. Probably we can engage. Now that you have spoken about it, I'll make it personal to engage and see what he says. What could be the problem. I'll just engage him just to know what could be the problem. Yeah.
That'll be good. That'll be awesome. Because at the end of the day, I think this program is good for every Zambian. It doesn't matter whether the idea is from the UPND, but at the end of the day, the people that are benefiting are the Zambians. So,
Exactly.
I mean, I see no point or reason for somebody to be who wouldn't want to like support a program like this, because it's going to alleviate a lot of issues, poverty in the community, and it's going to bring liquidity in the community, like you said, jobs will be created, and stuff like that. So if it's implemented, people are happy in your community, and they'll say, yeah, you know what, the government is actually working. So I don't know whether it's a matter of sabotage just to make the UPND government look like we are not working, or I don't understand, because there's so many other people that have come online to showcase what they're doing with the CDF, but some people just saying no, it doesn't work. We can't access the money. That's what they're saying.
Yeah, no, some of it is just sabotage because, for example, I mean, from the 6 million that we have received this year, a number of activities have been done by various constituencies. 6 million is quite a lot of money. And for example, myself, next week will be doing I think the other week we'll be giving the grants to 98 women in clubs because we've been doing through the process. So that definitely benefiting 98 women and youth clubs is going to be a very big injection of capital into the constituency, and you continued more businesses going forward. So definitely, it's just some critics out there.
So what about, I got one more last question. I think I have maybe one, but in terms of agriculture,
Yes.
Southern Province at one point was the hub, a food basket of Zambia. But through the years, it has dwindled. What can be done in terms of, like, is it a matter of engaging farmers and involving the CDF to small-scale farmers and upgrading them so that they're able to produce more? There were silos all over, Choma there. I don't know if they still exist. Like, what are we doing when it comes to agriculture and trying to bring back, the Southern Province as the food basket for Zambia?
I think in the area of maize, the area of maize is complicated by the issue of now CASIP in terms of fertilizer, because everybody is almost like dependent on the government fertilizer for their production, and that's why we must do more of bio agriculture, renewable agriculture methods, so that people can use organic manures and the like to continue to produce, and also make the soils last longer, because most of these soils have been tired of the synthetic fertilizers that we use. So that is one area of work. But also, once we raise enough resources as a country to double the number of farmers, because the FISI program is limited to about 3 million farmers, and it's not it hasn't expanded. There is still a limitation. So once we expand it, then we would see more production. And now also, the good thing which has happened is the increase in the price of the bag of maize. The increase in the price of the bag of maize from 150 to 280 is a huge development, because it's going to take back a lot of small-scale farmers into farming. People had left maize farming, for that matter. They had left it and gone into other things. For example, soybeans was taking a lot of farmers. But now people are going back to maize, because the price is the best. It's the best for. And so for the first time, our farmers are being rewarded, and that reward is really good for them. And in terms of livestock, Southern still remains the leading province. I think 2 million plus animals in terms of cattle. Then there's so much goat and the like, and pork. But we have to continue fighting animal diseases. So vaccination from government needs to be comprehensive. It's happening. It's back. I think that is good. This year, farmers were having their animals vaccinated. What we need to strengthen is now the dipping services, in terms of putting dip tanks or dip sprays and the dipping programs. Because most of the diseases that are ravaging us are tick-borne diseases or management diseases, which are not yet being tackled by government. These are still in the hands of the farmer. But our farmers are not yet having a mindset of farming for business. They are doing farming, still in the traditional manner, without like you sell one animal to save, the bigger head, or you sell a goat and buy and pay for the dipping service. That's what we need to see. And I think you saw the other time I went to Mutongwa Deep Tank. That's what we are pushing for, all deep tanks in the constituency. We have one deep tank being run by a women's club we funded in Mapanza. They charge 5 kwacha per animal, and the Mutongwa one, they are charging 4 kwacha per animal. So that is helping. In those areas where people are dipping, they don't have any animal diseases. But where they're not dipping, the diseases are plenty.
Okay.
Brilliant, honorable. So we really appreciate you coming on. But I have one last question.
Yeah.
Seeing as you sit on the health committee in Parliament, and we have people out there on the streets complaining about lack of drugs. We saw not too long ago a consignment of drugs from China coming. What is the problem with the drug shortage in Zambia? Can you maybe somebody who wears the jacket of a committee member in health in Parliament maybe shed a little bit more light on that for our listeners and viewers?
Yeah, we actually had a problem, because when we came in, a number of you remember we came from the honeybee issue as a country. When we got voted in as UPND, we had just had the honeybee scandal, which costed the country a lot, because that $17 million, those drugs never worked for the country. And since they never worked for the country, they created a big gap in the country. And so to fix that problem, because drugs take time to manufacture, a health kit takes 6 months to 1 year to be assembled. So when we came in August 2021, after establishing the problem, that's when the purchases were done, first of all, to try from local suppliers, who couldn't manage to do a very efficient job until we went back to the company in Holland that is assembling the health center kits, and the bulk purchase in India and Egypt, which have been done. And so we started receiving those kits from India, 50,000 kits. I think the first 7,000 arrived. After the first 7,000, again, every month we'll receive some kits. So now, like I visited the Narituba Health Center recently in my constituency, and also Mapanza Health Center. I checked the drug situation. I found that all the drugs are there except 2. I think what was missing is medicine for burns and the epilepsy. So the drug situation has tremendously improved. I don't think there are health centers that don't have drugs. We may be struggling with some drugs at the central and tertiary level hospitals, because the bulk purchase for those is still on its way. But in any case, they have been allowed to use part of their NEMA funds, because they get this NEMA funds, the National Health Insurance Funding. So they get that funding. So they have been asked to use it to purchase whatever is missing. And so that's how they are managing. Yeah.
Brilliant. So on that note, usually we have an hour program, but we're running 2 hours just for you.
Yeah. So sorry. I wish I was home. I was going to area. If I didn't have this challenge, I was going to have a better dedicated time, but I got disturbed with the timings the other side. So my apologies that I couldn't come on time. But
No,
I'm
it's
very
the African in us. I should have told you we link up at 19 hours, so you could have
one question on a lighter note to our minister. How many kettles do you
I
have?
really appreciate you coming on here, and so viewers, this is my MP. Some of us, we talk to our MPs from time to time. So we don't just mention Mugwalo just for nothing. We have roots there.
Excellent. Yes, Mr. Chirufia, you wanted to ask a question?
Yes, I want to know how many keto you have, because I know a lot of people there in Southern Province, like keto is like like your thing. It's a main thing. How many do you have?
In Southern, we don't mention keto numbers.
Okay.
We just invite you to come, and then we send you to the crowd. Then you'll see whether you are able to count or not.
Oh. It's that serious, eh?
That is basically the way Southerners live. That's how we live, because we don't keep animals in one place. Our animals are in different places.
Yes.
Risk management. So you find that some animals are what we call gurutanga, where we take animals for the summer, winter season, those differentiations, and then a few animals at home for milk and labor, that kind of thing. Yeah.
So when I come to Southern Province, you're going to just take me to the crow?
When you come, we'll just take you to the places where you can walk the whole day.
The whole day?
Yes. You have to get used to staying with animals the whole day in the bush.
Wow. That would be a great adventure. I can't wait to experience that.
Yes. Yeah, you're most welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Honorable. We'll let you go now, and I know it's late over there.
Yeah, thank you so much,
we appreciate you coming on, and I hope you won't be tired of me calling you from time to time.
No, you're most welcome. Anytime.
Wonderful. Appreciate that. So, Mr. Chirufia, your next challenge, I want to see your LP on this show.
Oh,
okay. Talk about CDL.
You want to see my MP here in Canada?
Yeah, not in Canada, in Zambia. That's where your roots are.
Okay, no problem. I'll try to make it happen.
All right,
Thank you.
So Arsenal won today. It was a good day.
Yes.
Oh, that's
And
beautiful. Yeah, the first win ever.
I don't have
Everton,
any
I think,
rant
in 6
today.
years.
No, we've been winning, Honorable.
No, at Everton. At
Or
Everton, it's
at
been
Everton. Okay,
Yeah,
at
yeah, but
that's the
Everton.
first one. That's the first time we beat them in 6 years. That's according to the statistics.
okay.
It's been very difficult at Everton. Last year, if Everton did not beat us, we were going to win that league because out of the 6 points Man City beat us to, 3
Yes.
points came from Everton.
Yes.
You know.
Oh
Yeah.
my goodness! You see, my MP is also Arsenal. I didn't even know that.
No, I'm fully Arsenal.
Arsenal for life.
Arsenal for
Gunners,
life. Yeah.
Gunners.
Yeah, we are Gunners for life.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
so that's it for our show viewers today. Until we link up next Sunday to review the most happening news. Oh, about Ethiopia, did we forget any other news today that we needed to talk about? Or we just covered? I think we covered
I
almost
think we've
everything.
tackled most of the stuff. I don't know if the Honorable has more information on the reasons why Vaisio was stopped from going to South Korea. I don't know if it.
You're putting
I don't know
my
if
MP
you
on
might have some
spot
information
now.
that we don't have.
No.
Our
That
PMs
one
are
I don't
defending it.
have. I don't have much information. I'm sure the ministry that is responsible for foreign affairs may have a bit more information. From our side, we're just very excited because the doomsayers on His Excellency President HH's trip, where we were saying that at Mfwiti Akwiya in Nyanja, at Mfwiti Akwiya, because they were saying no, he's not been received and the like, and then they say a very high class receiving, yeah. By the Chinese president,
Chinese, yeah.
21 gun salute, and
Yes.
everything was just buzzing in China.
Can you
And so
imagine?
many protocols signed, which are going to steer a lot of things in Zambia and the relationship between Zambia and China. So
China.
it's really
Yes.
a beautiful thing, So he's at a different level, and
That's true.
the doomsayers just have to accept that he's at a different level.
And I even wonder why the opposition was even condemning him, going to visit all these big tech companies, try to get them come to invest in Zambia. They're like, why is he going there? Why is he doing this? But I'm like, why don't you use the opportunity? The president is methodical, like he says all the time.
Yes.
I'm going to China. I'm not just going to go and meet him and greet him and start partying like other,
Yes, the past.
You go there and you do your business on the side. You see, you meet with other big companies that are going to, be key players in developing Zambia, because Zambia is evolving and we have to move with the 21st century right now. If we don't engage China in those kind of high level talks, it'll be just like the way it was the last. We've been China 60 years. The relationship between Zambia and China, 60 years.
Yeah.
We need to bring Zambia up to par.
Exactly.
And I love it that the president himself is very, very, very proactive. As compared to other leaders who were just going there to party.
Yeah. So he's demonstrated a lot of progress. So we look forward to a lot of the actualization of all these protocols which were signed and the developments they'll bring. So I bet a lot is going to happen. Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
Okay.
Sure.
So the only thing I'm looking forward to is for us to unlock that $6 billion we owe those Chinese companies. I think most of it.
Yes.
I think once we unlock that, we'll be in good shape.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, then. It's been a beautiful day. We have to move on. Agenda, your final words. We have to move on, and
I just want to
go and get the rest that he needs so he can push some more tomorrow.
I just want to thank Honorable Joseph Msanje. Itwalumba kavotu madara twalumba.
Mr.
Twalumba for you to show up on our show. Hopefully, from time to time, you make an appearance and give us, the updates on what's happening in the community.
That's right. That's right. No, I appreciate so much. I'm always very happy to connect with the diaspora. So it's always very good, and I really appreciate as well. So I look forward to the next invitation.
Absolutely. I'm only a call away, Honorable. So you know that.
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Until next time, viewers, keep the faith. It's been the Diaspora Chat Box. Ciao. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Good.